What's up, bud? It's Rob. This is Apparel Success. And what I want to talk to you about in this video here is a topic that I've covered before on this channel that is so incredibly valuable as a clothing brand owner to know that I figured it was worth making another video on this topic. And the topic is positive feedback loops. If you don't understand how positive feedback loops work when growing a business, you're really going to be at a disadvantage. And so I wanted to take another crack at explaining positive feedback loops to you because I think that you just understanding this and applying it to your clothing brand will help you like crazy. So here it is. Apparel Success is sponsored by my buds over at Design Crowd. And if you need designs made for your clothing brand, I highly recommend that you give them a shot. You post a project on Design Crowd, amazing designers from all around the world will compete for your project. You choose the winner, then you get that design plus revisions. Here's an example of a design that I had made through Design Crowd that's literally the best-selling hoodie on my website. If you're interested, head over to designcrowd.com/apparel to learn about the special offer that I have for you where you can save up to $100 or simply use the discount code APPAREL when you post a project on Design Crowd. All right, so what is a positive feedback loop and how can we apply this to your clothing brand? The first thing to mention here is that a positive feedback loop isn't specific to business. It's actually much more universal than that and is a regular occurrence in a bunch of different domains of life. So what a positive feedback loop is just straight up is where there's a really small cause that starts out and the effects of that cause get exponentially greater and the magnitude increases over time, okay? It just compounds on itself and it gets bigger and bigger. And so a really good example of a positive feedback loop in the regular world is if, you've ever been at a concert and there's that feedback coming from the speakers that's like, yeah, and it just keeps getting louder and louder. That's actually a positive feedback loop because what's happening is when the speaker's making a sound, when you talk into the mic, the speaker's making a sound and that sound is actually going back into the microphone, which is causing more sound to come out of the speaker, which is going back into the microphone, and it's just getting out of control and just growing exponentially. And that, in that situation, is actually negative because nobody wants to listen to, a screeching microphone. But when it comes to growing a business, that's the loop that we want to get into. And so here's an example of this applied to your clothing brand. The very initial stage of growing your clothing brand, right when you start up, when you don't have any customers, you don't have any celebrities wearing your gear, you don't have any followers, will always be the hardest phase for you to go through. It will take the most amount of work. It will take the most amount of time. It will be the most difficult for you to get any results on top of that. And the reason for that is because you have absolutely nothing to leverage. The second you gain any results at all for your clothing brand, so this means, gaining a few thousand followers on social media, you get a few customers, you get maybe a celebrity endorsement, it's so vital that you leverage those results to get more results. Okay, so what this means is basically if you get 100 customers, let's say you grind it out for 6 months or a year, and you get your first 100 customers for your clothing brand. If you can manage to get pictures of your customers wearing it, testimonials from your customers saying that you have really nice products, anything that you can showcase that you already have those customers, that will help you exponentially at getting your next 100 customers, okay? That is unlocking a positive feedback loop. And with my own clothing brand, getting to our first 200 customers, 300 customers was way harder than getting to our first 2,000 customers because the second you get to 200 customers, then they start tagging you in pictures online. You can showcase how many customers you have on your website. You can post pictures of that. You can share it on your social media. And that is what creates your brand. That is what gives your brand any value. And so now when newcomers come after that, they see all of that initial work you put in, all of those first customers. It builds that trust, it builds that credibility, and your purchases after that will be so much easier. It'll be so much easier for you to make purchases through your website and to get new customers after that. So just as a little interlude here, if you have any results for your clothing brand at all, and you're not leveraging them on your social media or on your website, and they're just sort of there in the background being hidden, and only you really know about the customers that you have and the results that you've gotten, then you're not applying this to your clothing brand in the way that will help you out the most. And, even if you only have one micro influencer who's supported your brand so far, expose that to your audience as best as you possibly can. Okay, share that to your Instagram account, share that on your website, do everything that you possibly can to leverage that to get the momentum going for your clothing brand and to get these positive feedback loops working for you. Our first celebrity endorsements were difficult to get, but after that it became a lot easier because the current celebrities could see that other celebrities were wearing it, and it just made it a lot easier for it to snowball in a good direction. And this had to do with our customers, our celebrity and influencer endorsements, and our following on social media. When you get a little bit of results, it becomes easier to get a little bit more results, and it just keeps on getting a little bit easier as you keep on going. So if you have any results at all, showcase them to your audience, showcase them as best as you possibly can. If you don't have any results for your clothing brand right now, then it's so crucial that you get the foundation of your clothing brand mastered, because what's really going to allow you to get those first results, if you don't have any yet, is by acing your brand concept, your website quality, your product quality, and your social media presentation. Okay, and I don't mean your social media presentation in terms of sharing, the celebrities and influencers you have wearing your stuff. I mean posting high quality content, really cool pictures, and things like that. Because if you get that foundation down, obviously it would help if you had some credibility and you had some other people, wearing your clothing and you had a big following. Obviously that would help. But if you don't have that, that's all you can really do right now, is just master that foundation. And if the foundation is sealed and it's dialed and the foundation of your clothing brand is mastered, then you will get your first customers, you will get celebrity and influencer endorsements, and you will build a following eventually. And it's literally just about mastering that, getting your first results, getting your first customers, getting your first following, all of that stuff. And then the second you start to get those things, the second you start to achieve that for your clothing brand, just loop all of those results back into the business, okay? Like just take all of the pictures of your customers wearing your stuff, show them on your website, show them on your social media, and just loop all of that right back into your business. This will help you so much. And it's literally to the point where if you didn't do this, you'd really struggle to grow your clothing brand. And so I thought it was really important to make a video on this because it's just one of those key components to growing a business, specifically also, even more importantly for clothing brand owners. And I really hope that helps. One thing that I think would be really cool in this video is if you've gotten positive feedback loops to work for your clothing brand, to share how you were able to do that in the comments below so that other clothing brand owners can read through those and get inspired by it. Maybe you built up a little following on Instagram and then that little following turned into a bigger following. Or, maybe you got one customer and then that customer told his friend and then both those customers, just kept telling their friends about it and then it just kept spiraling. However you were able to do it, I think that it would be really cool for other clothing brands to see that. Also, in my free clothing brand marketing masterclass, I basically share with you how each section of growing my clothing brand added to it becoming easier and easier and spiraling in these positive feedback loops that I've talked about. So if you want to watch that for free, you can get access at apparelsuccess.com/masterclass. And if you've made it to this point in the video, I want to tell you about the closed Facebook group that we have for Apparel Success. There's a link in the description. Follow that link, join us in the group, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.